What's up, horror fans? It's Danny from the Lasercast, and I just got home from seeing Smile, the latest really good horror film to come out in 2022. It feels like every other day we're talking about what a great year 2022 is for horror, because they just keep dropping these movies out in theaters one after another. It was Pearl, then Barbarian, and here we are with with Smile, and you know, we got more movies coming to both streaming and more in theaters. Just an awesome year so far. Non-spoiler thoughts coming. If you Smile comes out in wide release on Friday, September 30th. I got a chance to see it. My theater was doing an early Tuesday night screening, and I brought Charlotte, and you guys know Charlotte. She's going to be 12 years old this year, but I got her started on horror at a very early age, and questionable parenting aside, that girl has sat through some of the all-time scariest films, Halloween movies. She's watched 4 different Halloweens. She's watched the entire Friday the 13th franchise. She's watched Nightmare on Elm Street films, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Exorcist. This girl has seen it all. She was excited walking in, and a crying, frightened little girl on the way out. This movie may have replaced Insidious as the scariest movie that she ever saw. She is in bed with my wife right now, cuddling with the cats, watching TikTok, trying to get to sleep. The plot of this movie is super simple. You have a psychologist who works in a hospital treating, patients who are, having all sorts of psychological episodes, and a woman comes in claiming that there's something after her, and she can see it because it's smiling at her. And very soon after, that woman gets to the doctor, to Rose Cotter, our main character, played by Sosie Bacon. It looks like she's having like a seizure. Turns out she's smiling, and she commits suicide in graphic fashion. And from that point on, the entity with the smile is following Rose, our main character. And if you've seen the trailer, you know that this movie is super heavy on the jump scares. Now, to a seasoned horror movie fan like myself, jump scares can be something that we poo-poo. It's cheap shock filmmaking. When they're done right, they are tremendously effective. And this movie manages to do jump scares really well, over and over and over again. I was in awe of the way writer-director Parker Finn, in his first feature film, managed to almost subvert your expectations on jump scares. He'll have the camera, so you'll have the main character over here, and over here in this whole negative space is just an open door, and it's just black. Now, as a horror fan, you're trained to know, oh, something's going to come through that door, or there's going to be a noise. And you start to build up that tension for yourself, and Parker Finn just goes with it. And it's just scenes like that over and over where they're paid off tremendously with really top-notch jump scares. I mean, I got caught a few times. Charlotte was a wreck. There was like laughter in our theater, but not like the I'm laughing at the movie and I'm an asshole kind of laughter. But I think this was the laughter that breaks up like really palpable tension, where you're so scared watching a movie that when I saw Midsummer, there were people laughing, and I'll admit I chuckled during some of the scenes, because some of the scenes in Midsommar crossed that line where they went from like palpable tension to just, what the fuck am I watching? And this is the opposite. This is like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what's gonna happen, what's gonna happen, jump scare. And you laugh to like break your own tension. And kudos to Parker Finn for really doing a great job setting up the scares in this movie. The movie is also shot really well. There's these long takes where you get to see the whole scenery. The camera pans around characters in a way where you're like getting yourself ready for what's behind them and what's in the corner. And then on these long shots, the camera inverts and almost turns everything upside down, and it really messes with your mind as you're watching the movie. Sosie Bacon, as our lead protagonist, is very good in this movie. Kyle Gallner plays her ex-boyfriend slash detective who's going along and kind of unraveling the mystery with her of what this entity is. Her fiance in the movie is played by Jesse T. Usher, who is A-Train in The Boys, and he's a good actor, but he's completely wasted in this movie. I felt like he was really miscast here. One of my only negatives about this movie was his character. Like, to me, it would have worked better if she was just a single woman and she had this ex-boyfriend who's a cop, because she goes from a fiance to her ex-boyfriend, and he just kind of disappears from the movie, and he's just wasted in the role. Aside from that, the rest of the acting is pretty good. But this movie is all about those jump scares, and I guarantee you, you could call yourself the biggest stone cold, classic horror fan where nothing's gonna get you. This movie got me a few different times, and it was a lot of fun being in that theater with people screaming and reacting to these jump scares. I thought the journey to the ending of this movie was really about a 9 to 10 out of 10. And I thought the movie stumbled in its last act ever so slightly. It does not ruin the movie for me at all. Your opinion of the ending is going to, be your opinion. And if you see it, I'd love to know what you thought about the ending. I'd love to know what you thought about the jump scares. Maybe I'm just a wuss who gets scared easily in my old age, and you thought this movie was terrible. But this movie, I thought this was going to be a cash grab movie, like a Truth or Dare, like the original Ouija, where it'll make its money back in a weekend and nobody will ever hear from it again. But I saw a lot of buzz about this movie from people whose opinions in the horror field that I trust, and I think this movie did so much with such a simple premise, and I'm really excited to follow Parker Finn and his career. This is his first feature-length film. Cannot wait to see what he does next. If he can make a movie called Smile and make it this scary, I'm excited. If you've made it this far, give the video a like, give our channel a subscribe. We are pumping out horror content as we get towards October and spooky season. Pete and I are covering Shudder's 101 Scariest Movie Moments. We are up to episode 4 tomorrow. We'll be counting down from number 63, and we'll get down close to 50 tomorrow, so we'll be almost halfway done with the list. So tune in tomorrow for that. Pete is organizing more and more author interviews, so if you love horror writers, horror comic book writers, if you enjoy horror writing, you got to listen to some of our interviews. Pete has just been a machine interviewing these people. I try to jump on when I can, and we have a lot of other stuff coming. We have another season of Chucky is coming very soon. Shudder's Queer for Fear docu-series is starting on Friday, and I'm going to be covering that. Cannot wait for that. So, like I said, we have a ton of stuff, and if you're in the mood for really dark, brutal foreign horror, check out Speak No Evil, also streaming on Shudder. I did a full review here on the channel. So give this video a smile and go see Smile. Tell me what you think. Leave your comments. Tell me what you thought about the ending, and we'll talk to you very soon.